Hey, aloha folks, and welcome to the Klipper Golf Course. I'm here with the coach. Hey, coach.
How you doing, Kevin?
Hey, I'm good. Hey, you know what I wanted to talk about today? This is kind of a personal one, but I think that this can help everybody out there as well. I have been practicing, on the driving range, the practice green, and I think I'm getting pretty good at honing in my skills. It's not quite to the level where I would hope it would be, but at the same time, I am finding that the performance is not matching up or meeting up to the skill level. I feel like my skill level is higher than my performance right now. And I remember a while back when I didn't used to practice, the performance would outdo the skill level, which encouraged me to practice to bring the skill level up. But do you see what's happened?
Yes.
So it kind of flip-flopped. And I'd be doggone if I wouldn't bet that a lot of my regulars that I see practicing out here don't suffer from the same problem. So I'm thinking this is something that's universal and that we can discuss. What do you think?
Yeah, I think your story is a little different than most, though. You have a luxury problem.
A luxury.
Because you're practicing correctly.
Yeah.
And I think the transference that you'll get isn't as quick as you'd like it to be on the course. But I see you doing the work.
Yeah.
And I see you out there more often. I think your expectations are a little higher than they should be right now for you.
Maybe unrealistic expectations.
No, I just think just be patient.
Okay.
I know the work makes a difference, but sometimes the golf course doesn't give that to us right away.
Yeah.
And for the players we see at the driving range, my students, your students, all the visitors we have here, their skill is just to warm up, get ready for whatever the course is gonna throw at them or not. And sometimes everything falls in place. But as you know, the architect really doesn't care how good we are at the range, how well our skill level is.
Right.
They've built some nuances into the golf course that we're not prepared for sometimes, even though our swing is, spot on the range and the work is showing off in the driving range. I just experienced that myself. That's why I'm pretty clear about what you're saying. My practice has been really good. The tempo, the dispersion is so much less than before. And I'm consistently hitting the ball in the center of the face. I get on the course, and then I'll speed up, or I'll slow down, or I'll be in between clubs.
I can relate to that.
And I'll hear a noise,
and
then maybe I have, I'm with someone that distracted me, or I'm distracted by a flag.
Right.
And I think, part of that is just understand if your practice is as good as I've seen you getting with it, it's going to show soon. The transference will come, but not necessarily the day we want it to.
Right. Okay.
And I just experienced
that. So the message is patience.
Yeah.
Right. And
pretty
then,
broad word for what they're waiting for.
Okay. But is there any more than that? Could there be like a problem with focus? When you practice, you have so many opportunities to produce a desired result. Like I can relate to being on the practice tee, practicing, taking 5 shots, getting the 5th one to do what I wanted to do. The other 4, maybe not so much. You go on the golf course, you get 1 shot at it.
Yeah, there's consequences.
Right, there's consequences.
And I think you know that. So you know that you have 1 try.
Right.
As a professional golfer, there's more emphasis on you knowing you have to execute first time. I think some of our patrons here and some of the players that practice here, they don't put that much pressure on themselves for that. I mean, maybe the low handicap, the scratch players, but the higher handicapper isn't thinking like you and I are. When we stand over that shot, this is it.
Right.
And we get a little bit ahead or a little excited, and then we can't pull it off as we could on the range.
What do you suppose the better player does? What do you do? What do you do to get that out of you when you have the 1 shot at it?
I have to remind myself that I've been here before.
Yeah.
I do this on a regular basis. I know I only have 1 try. I never hit a second shot on the course. I stick to that routine that I know this is it.
Right.
So just be ready. I think we had this discussion the other day about that excitement, that stimulation. The moment is so exciting per se,
Mm-hmm.
that it can actually default some of the technical positions you've worked on in the driving range. You could be a little overzealous, or you're just not ready
Right.
for that type of pressure you're putting on yourself. So
Right.
it will never not produce something you're looking for. You have to experience that too. I have to say this on film. I have a student or two that'll completely miss the ball, and I don't stop them now.
Yeah.
Because they come in right and they hit this incredibly perfect shot. I mean, I can tell you 25 years ago I would have stopped them. But somehow they can reinvent themselves to the perfect swing, one swing after a complete miss. That's phenomenal.
Really? So they make a complete miss while you're on the golf course with them?
No, on the driving range.
On the driving range. So it's just a horrible shot. And then the one right after that is perfect.
No, I'm saying complete miss. Like a miss the ball.
Oh, okay.
And then step in and just hit an absolute incredible shot.
Okay, so
beyond
what do you attribute that to?
I think it's like you and I are trying to let's say the word for it. It's just basically give up the excitement.
Yeah.
Give up and just react. And I think the best players in the world, I know when I'm doing my best, I'm reacting to the shot in front of me. I'm not reacting to the tension, the fears per se, or even the moment being overwhelming.
Okay.
I've felt those moments in order to win some tournaments, but at the same time, the work I have behind that allowed me to hit it, not as, let's say, as grandiose as I thought I could, but I pulled off the shot, finished the event, and the nerves worked correctly so I could actually finish.
Right.
But they were there beyond my normal understanding of them. So you know they're coming.
Right.
So you have a little, like I'm going to say you have a little bit of you have a little shelter from that moment that you can't pull it off. False evidence appears real. That's the acronym for fear.
Okay. All right. So let's see if we can wrap this up.
Sure.
Number one, I think you're saying that the work is necessary.
Yep.
So put in that work. And then when you get onto the golf course, it's reminding yourself before you even step up to play the shot that you have put in the work. I put in the work. I have rehearsed this. So I've programmed myself for it. And then even recalling that we've been here before. We've been here before. Right. We've done this. It's not something that we are not capable of doing. So it's putting some of that confidence in you. And then going ahead and staying in the moment.
And execute.
And it's almost like that Bob Rotella thing, and I'm gonna probably botch it up a little bit, but there was this Bob Rotella quote from his book where he talks about like, you know, when you play the slot machine, you pull the arm and you don't control what comes out. It's predetermined. And you just let the numbers pop as they may. So it's kind of like you're saying, just kind of being patient, pull the trigger, you know, go through your pre-shot routine, play your shot, and just let it happen. Is that what you're kind of telling me here?
Yes. And I think that he did have to put the coin in, and then he did have to pull for that to happen.
Right.
So it's not just the pulling of that, of that lever to get that.
Making a commitment.
Right.
And going through your routine.
And again, as kids, if this is for the older player that's been around a while, there's always that saying that you might have played a U.S. Open against your friend at some golf course in the last hole in the dark. That kind of moment, that moment that's outstanding, is the moment you're just trying to pull off.
Right.
Just as a grown-up with even more practice, more experience, and better at life already.
Yeah.
And knowing what patience is. So we have a moment. It didn't have to be yesterday. That you can pull on. And even for the player that's new to the sport, there's that moment they've hit that shot and they go, wow, how'd I do that?
Right.
Well, basically, it's just a couple thoughts, probably a nice deep breath. That's the number one thing that I see that people are doing better today, is that breathing skill. You can have all the technique and the greatest mind, but if your body is not allowing the friction out while you perform that shot, then friction is going to get in the handle, in the face of the club, and the shot probably won't happen. So friction control and patience.
Well, that's great. A lot of good advice. We
you.
need to kind of stay in the moment. We need to take it in. And just be patient. Let it happen.
Great.
And believe that we put the work in.
Yeah, don't stop the work.
Don't stop the work, and then just go ahead and pull the trigger. Okay, so folks, listen. Thank you, Coach. That was great.
Thank you.
Awesome. This is our 100th episode. So you've actually made it through 100 of these. Congratulations. But we have something for you. Please go ahead, like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share it, okay? And then we're gonna have on the bottom in the description, check it out. We've got a little contest. We're gonna give something away, something special. All right, so check that out, and we'll see you at the Klipper. Aloha.
Aloha.